At number 20, we're going for Hugo Boss, the scent Absolute. This is a really nice fragrance if you enjoy the note of ginger. Perfect for the fall, the colder months. You've got ginger, you've got maninka in here, and also vetiver. But the ginger is mainly what shines through. A very nice designer fragrance and deserves its spot on the list. At number 19, Dolce & Gabbana The One EDP. Again, this features ginger. You've got a nice tobacco in here, a very warm and spicy scent, great for the weather starting to cool down. At 18, we've got Polo Red Extreme. This is a coffee scent, so quite unusual. By coffee, I mean the coffee bean kind of smell. A couple of other things going on in here. There's blood orange. It's nice. It leaves a nice scent on clothes and performs well in the autumn fall months. Sticking with Ralph Lauren, we've got Polo Black up next at 17. Bit underrated, this doesn't get talked about much. It's an interesting mango and sandalwood scent. So a very unusual combo there, but works well in this time of year. At 16, we've got Darley by Parfums. This is quite a lavender heavy fragrance. Gets compared to Jean Paul Gaultier La Mal, which also could have featured on this list. But we've gone with Darley, a nice fresh lavender scent. Good for the spring and also for the autumn and fall weather. At 15, Gucci Guilty Intense. This is kind of a fruity lavender scent, done in quite a dark way. So rather than the fresh lavender of the Darley entry I just mentioned, this is more of a kind of dark, heavier lavender, more for the colder months. Quite underrated. I do enjoy this. I've got some good scent memories attached to this one. Gucci Guilty Intense, certainly one I have a soft spot for. At 14, we go with Maison Margiela Coffee Break. Rather than the Polo Red Extreme entry I mentioned earlier, which was a coffee scent, this is more a milky cappuccino type of a feel. So usually when you get coffee as a note in a fragrance, it's the coffee bean smell. This, they're trying to go for that milky cappuccino. I think milk is even listed as one of the notes on Fragrantica with this one. There's some florals in here too. You do have to use your imagination a bit to picture it as a kind of cappuccino type of a smell, as it could quite easily be interpreted as a floral fragrance as well. But it's great for this time of year. Definitely one of the best from the line in my opinion. Coffee Break. At number 13, we've got Versace's The Dreamer. I really love this. It's around £20 for even 100 ml. I think is about £25. So great value here. You get a few things going on here. It's kind of a white floral, iris and tobacco mix. There's tobacco leaf in the base. You get this weird kind of combination of iris and tobacco and white florals. Really, really good. Honestly, I'd definitely recommend you try this one. I rate it very highly. It's great for this time of year. I believe it was Gianni Versace's final creation in terms of a fragrance. I think Jeremy Fragrance used to talk about that in those Miami videos where he'd hang around outside the Versace mansion doing commentary on stuff like that. But yeah, for me, it's great. It's a real good pickup. It should have been in my cheap videos entry. It'll definitely be in any future ones like that. For me, Versace The Dreamer, very underrated. Definitely worth picking up. At 12, we've got MFK's Oud Silk Mood. Very different from Oud Satin Mood. This is basically rose and oud. Obviously, you know, you've probably sampled that combination a number of times, but this is it done in a really nice way. There's a freshness to this. You can wear this in the warm weather as well. It's very well blended. It's not like heavy and overbearing or like barnyard type of an oud. A very easy wear, great all year round, but certainly as it's cooling down a bit, this is ideal. At number 11, we've got Creed's original Santal. I was thinking with the Creed fragrances that so many of them would be perfect for spring or autumn and fall. There aren't many that are outright summer scents, but they're all kind of fresh in their own way, if you know what I mean. If you think like Green Irish Tweed, Himalaya, Silver Mountain Water, this, Viking, Aventus, they're all kind of springtime, autumn, fall time fragrances. I know they're mixing up a little bit, like Centaurus, the more recent one is a darker, heavier, and they're doing a new oud one, I believe, aren't they? So maybe they're changing direction a little bit, but certainly a lot of their classic releases are good for just before and just after summer. This is no exception. It's mostly a sandalwood fragrance, but you get juniper berry in here. There's some vanilla as well, some benzoin, quite a few things going on. It's basically a nicer version of Homme, which I'm sure many of you will have tried back in the day, and obviously similar to Mont Blanc Individuel as well. Original Santal, a great fragrance and good for this time of year. Into the top 10. So at 10th place we've got Parfums de Marly's Kalan or Kalan. I think it's Kalan, but maybe someone can put me right. This is a red spicy fragrance. Some similarities to Baccarat Rouge, but mainly this is like a blood orange and spices combination. You have to try this. I do think it's underrated. For me, it's one of my favorites from the house. It works all year round, but this is the time of year, like, you know, this list should be, that it shines. Now that it's cooling down slightly, this is more suitable than in the high heat. But yeah, a great mix of things. Very good performance. The sillage in this is excellent. I definitely recommend you trying this one out. You might find it's a hidden gem like I did. At 9 we're going with Spicebomb's Metallic Musk. This is phenomenal. I can't believe how impressed I actually have been with this. I know when it was released, it felt like kind of maybe it would be another run-of-the-mill lazy flanker that didn't have that much to offer. But I was blown away when I tried it. The original Spicebomb DNA I wasn't the biggest fan of. There was something about it that was slightly off. For me, this puts that totally right. A really nice musk blended with the original Spicebomb DNA. Just brings out the best of the Spicebomb DNA. Like, for me, this is one of the best designer fragrances I've ever tried. I give it a solid 9 out of 10. Really recommend you testing this one out. Spicebomb Metallic Musk. At number 8, we're going with Tom Ford's Noir, a slightly softer version on Noir Extreme, which I would recommend more for the winter months. I'm sure that will feature in any future winter lists. Noir is slightly scaled back. You've got some violet in here, so there's some florals with that kind of dessert-like feel as well. A very pleasant fragrance, quite spicy, good for these colder months. And for me, it doesn't get mentioned maybe as much as it should. An excellent fragrance, Tom Ford's Noir. At number 7, we're going with this excellent fragrance from Chanel, Allure Sport Eau Extreme. I'm sure almost all of you guys watching know this one. It's talked about so much, certainly on YouTube. So it's like the original Allure Sport, but with an extra dose of that powdery tonka, and also you've got a mint added to this. For me, it's a masterpiece, great all year round. If you find it a little bit heavy for the summer on that tonka, that can be a bit sweet. So this isn't just a fresh fragrance, it's definitely got some sweetness to it as well. You might find that this is the ideal time of year to be wearing it in the autumn and fall. So yeah, it can really shine at this time of year. One of the best designer fragrances, Allure Sport Eau Extreme. At 6, we're going with Creed's Absolu Aventus. If you find Aventus, the original Aventus and Aventus Cologne, to be a bit weak or a bit more suited to the summer and the warmer weather, this is like a deeper, darker Aventus. Some spices in here. It does get compared a bit to the Sauvage Elixir on the dry down. I get that only a tiny bit. I don't really see that. But for me, it is a heavier Aventus. So if you want the Aventus scent, but in the colder weather, then go for Absolu Aventus. Great for this time of year for sure. At 5, we're going with Mancera's Tonka Cola. A bit of a gimmicky fragrance like a lot of the Manceras and Montal line. It opens up with a very realistic interpretation of a cola. You have like this really fizzy, bright opening, and then it dries down into more of a tonka bean, like spices and vanilla type of tonka dry down basically. So Tonka Cola is an ideal name for this. Maybe that should be reversed actually, because you get cola in the beginning and then tonka later on, but you know, that wouldn't go so well maybe. But anyway, it's an excellent fragrance. Despite the gimmicky aspect, it does work really well, gets good reactions, real kind of spicy aspect to it. So I would say it's not so good in the very warm weather, but now that it's cooling down, it's perfect. Tonka Cola, definitely worth checking out. At 4, we're going with Acqua Di Parma's Oud, an extremely wearable oud. This is like an orange and oud mix. Definitely has a freshness to it. Not a barnyard type of oud, not very animalic, very wearable. You can wear this all year round. This for me would be a great time of year to wear this. For me, one of the best oud fragrances, and certainly one of the most wearable ones as well. This is oud done extremely well. This whole line by Acqua Di Parma, the black bottles, they do some really nice ones. I know the sandalwood one is nice. There's a Zaffarino, the saffron one, that's good too. And they do oud and spice like this oud one, which is also good. So I think it's a really impressive line that they do. I think they pick like one natural ingredient to really hammer, like they've done with the oud here. I think they say it's real oud on the description, and it certainly smells high quality. So this is well worth checking out, Acqua Di Parma Oud. At 3, we're going with Parfums de Marly's Haltane. I thought this deserved entry into the list because while it's heavy and kind of earthy, It's also got a freshness in the beginning, so you get this kind of fresh bergamot blast to start up with, and then you get like a praline and an earthiness in the dry down. For me, it's a masterpiece, excellent performer, great sillage, and great for this time of year. At 2, we're going with Ingenious Ginger by Goldfield and Banks. I am so impressed with this. It's like a citrusy ginger opening, and then it gets more into a vanilla in the base. So for me, it's ideal in terms of it's got that fresh and deep sweet balance. I think it's excellent. If you love ginger, then you'll love this for sure. Projection is very good. It's got a nice spiciness to it. Lasts a long time. You'll get noticed throughout the day. If you spray your clothes, this will perform really well for you. Definitely gets noticed. For me, it's addictive. It's got one of those really addictive scents that make you want to keep leaning in and smelling it throughout the day. And anytime you do get whiffs throughout the day, it's a really pleasant experience. So for me, Ingenious Ginger, very, very good fragrance, and definitely deserves its spot at number 2. At 1, we're going with Creed Viking. I mentioned earlier in the original Santal entry how a lot of Creed fragrances are suitable for the spring and for the autumn fall months. Because they're not maybe out and out summer fragrances, but they're fresh and versatile, and Viking definitely fits that bill. It's an interesting one. You've got some mint to open up, you've got some woods in here, there's an absinthe note, there's vanilla in the base. It's kind of a spicy old school lavender scent. I remember someone mentioning it smelled like old furniture. You can kind of picture that if you imagine it, but I don't mean that in a bad way. It's really one to try. If you haven't tried it, you might find, again, you've uncovered a gem here. For me, it's the best Creed. I'd take this over Aventus personally. I think Viking is a masterpiece. More people do seem to be coming around about it these days. I see it topping lists and stuff. I think when it first released, maybe because it was following Aventus, it didn't get that much love. I suppose people were expecting a huge commercial success follow-up to Aventus, but it's a totally different fragrance to that. It has its own appeal about it. I'm a big fan of Viking. I wonder what you guys think. I'd love to hear any feedback below. Do you love Viking? What would have topped your list for this season? Thank you as always for watching, and I will catch you next time.